Patient I'll be presenting today is a 58-year-old male. Came to University of Toledo Medical Center Inpatient Recovery Services Unit for opioid dependence with active withdrawal. This is a patient we're fairly familiar with. He's active in our IOP group on campus. He has had issues with heroin and fentanyl on and off for about the last 30 years or so. There are times where he's able to maintain sobriety for 4, 5, 6 months in that vicinity, but something always happens right around that 6-month time where he ends up relapsing and kind of starting over. As far as history goes, he's got a little bit of medical history with AFib. Aside from that, psych history is major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder, which I would say he takes the medications he's prescribed probably about half of the time. Typically, if he's using heroin or fentanyl, then he's not compliant with his meds. But while he's sober, he's almost always medication compliant. As far as why he's here now, he relapsed about 2 weeks ago, and we stopped seeing him come to group, and we reached out a few times to try to get a hold of him and weren't able to do so. But he reached back out to us and was able to get into our inpatient unit and is experiencing mild to moderate withdrawal right now. At this point, he's been on the unit for about a day and a half, and he's been utilizing comfort meds like Tylenol, Clonidine, Flexeril, Gabapentin, Mucinex, Vistaril, Zofran, and Trazodone. When we rounded on him, it was about 9 o'clock in the morning, and he hadn't had any comfort meds for approximately 12 hours or so. He was experiencing some runny nose, watery eyes, hot, cold sweats, and some anxiety and restlessness. He had started Subutex the night before, but we start them on a fairly low dose and kind of keep working from there. So that it started at 4 milligrams of buprenorphine every 6 hours. So at that point he'd had 2 doses. Yeah, that's right, 2 doses, and was getting ready for a 3rd dose, which I think the nurse was actually bringing while we were rounding with him. So that's probably when he was going to feel his worst, because it'd been almost a full 6 hours since he'd had a dose of buprenorphine. So with all that being said, the withdrawal was it was being handled relatively well. Labs were okay, except for he had his mag was a little low. It was 1.2. We replaced that IV, so we're going to redraw that. But really, we're just going to continue to monitor his withdrawal and treat his symptoms as needed. As a general rule with opioid withdrawal, 4 to 5 days is kind of the length of stay that we're looking at. So he's probably got another 2.5 or 3 days left before he discharges, and he'll go right back to our IOP group, like they saved a spot for him, and he'll go right back into group where he left off. Hopefully it all works out for him this time. Thank you.